What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. We're back. And, of course, to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
Second week in the new.
Feels good. And to my left.
In the new digs.
New sneakers on.
New clots.
New clots, very topical.
I hope they're listening. I hope they're not watching.
Who?
Just, you said you're listening or watching the Complex.
Yeah, I hope they are.
I hope they're, I have this thing under my eye. Can you see this? Welty pointed it out to me. You know, last week when you were
when I was like, you look, yes.
When you mentioned that Welty's a friend, quote unquote, who's like, how do you feel? Oh, you look tired.
Anything that you're a little self-conscious about. Listen, everyone, like, they won't say it. You walk in 3 seconds into the office. Hey, man.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure that was okay. Look like you got punched in the eye or something.
So
Punched
before
in the eye.
we had a shoot yesterday, and I'm getting ready. He's like, "Is that a zit under your eye?" I'm like,
okay.
I don't know what it is, but I am aware that it's. He said, "I'm just trying to be a good friend."
Okay.
What a good friend right before our shoot. Thank you so much, my friend. I don't know what it is.
It does look better than yesterday, I would say.
Yeah.
Which I
don't know
didn't
if
say
it's
anything yesterday
thank you,
because
Joe. I don't
different.
know if it's a bug bite. It's not a zit for the record.
I didn't bring this up this is actually Justin Bolus in yours interaction. Can we talk about this?
Justin Bolus, his name dropping count is getting up to PG nose.
So this is funny
every
because
episode.
Welty's going to use this as a bridge to another story where my skin was fucked up. So yes, go ahead.
No, but this is like full size run related.
Go ahead.
We were at Complex Con.
Please.
Complex Con 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you may notice, Brendan Dunne doesn't wear hats, but he was wearing a purple beanie.
Yeah, an awake beanie from my friend Mooby.
Bad haircut?
Welty, go ahead.
No, I mean, if it's your situation.
You brought up the story. You have to tell
the story,
it.
dude. I'm not taking the story. Go for it.
No, I mean, I didn't Justin Bolus go up to you and was like, "Hey, man, like, what's up with your skin or something like that?" You had like a rash.
For some reason, when we showed up to Complex Con 2019, I don't know if it was stress. I don't know if I was scrubbing a
You
little
weren't
too
used
hard
to the fanfare that you were about to get. It was his first.
I don't know, the soap in the hotel or something.
Okay.
I had like a big splotchy section on my forehead, so I was stressed out. And my friend Mooby let me wear his beanie for the weekend. And but I remember seeing Justin Bolus, a coworker here at Complex at First We Feast, the first day of Complex Con before the floor opened, and he said, "Dunne, oh my God, what's on your forehead?" So yes, Welty, you're right. That did happen. Thank you for bringing that up. Just so everybody is fully aware of the various skin problems I've had on camera.
Okay.
I feel like one day when we actually get to write the behind the scenes stories of all the things we've had to deal with through all of this, it's going to be worth it, right?
Yeah, that's a real page turner. Riveting stuff.
I mean,
40 chapters of
We're in a good. It's a good start so
the
far.
Intricacies of my skin.
I thought it was an amazing story.
All right. Well,
I mean, we had a big snafu the other week that stressed us all the hell out, and full size run launched on a Friday instead of a Thursday.
That did happen.
Sorry about all that, everyone. But hey, we got the episode out there.
Yep.
And we're here now. And Edison Chen.
Yes, go watch it. YouTube.com/Soul Collector.
And he was
also
kind enough to send us the clots.
Yeah, they look
which is what I'm
great.
wearing here.
They look great.
I'd put it out into the world yesterday just because I know everyone's always on our ass about it. Finally filmed an in-studio with a guest episode of Full Size Run show.
That's
coming
right.
Coming up
right.
soon.
How did it feel?
It felt great.
Yeah.
It felt incredible.
It's different. The chemistry is different.
I'm different, first of all.
Yes, you are different. He was such a good sport about it.
Shout out to Clark Kent.
He was a great sport about it last week.
Shout out to Clark. No, I want to do as many of those as possible because really the chemistry between us and the little quips and things like that, it's hard to get all of that.
I think it took a minute even when we were doing it to kind of get used to it when you're talking to someone next to you versus just asking a question to someone on a screen in front of you.
And to be fair, I think most people were focused on the red thing underneath my eye that you pointed out before the shoot. So that was the shoot.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So,
right.
I think
Not
for
the one
everyone,
that's
it was
not
hard to
live yet, but
focus.
yesterday. Right. It was good to see Dad, Trinidad James.
Yes.
I
Yes, of
finally saw him in the flesh. It was great to see him. I didn't get a chance to say thank you for the dad socks, but now I'm saying thank you, Trinidad James. Those socks are great.
Yeah.
Those
worn them?
socks, yes. Those socks are great. I also feel like during the pandemic, socks were a very important thing because we were inside and I was in socks a lot. Those came at the right time. Go get those dad socks. Great socks.
I think I accrued more socks in the past year than I had in any year previous. And also socks important for a shoe like this with the see-through toe box.
Yes.
I feel quite self-conscious. Have you guys worn the Claw Air Max ones with the see-through toe box?
He's going to make a Windex joke.
No, I'm not.
You do it all the time. No,
I'm not.
not a Windex. He's going to make a foggy window.
No, I'm not.
You have the past couple times.
We did
and
it.
I saw the cold open, but
They
that
did
was
it.
We did it. Hey, man, I got it out of my system.
Exactly.
I'm just following in Clark's footsteps here, but I do feel a little self-conscious with the see-through.
Not me.
Really?
I told you. I mean, I told you guys, and I think I posted it online. I have a huge issue because my right foot is like a size and a half smaller than my left one for whatever reason. I don't know. And
this will be in the behind the scenes of the full size run. The memoirs. Are we
chapter.
dedicating?
Now we're really heating up. Yeah.
Ooh, heating up like one's toes in a pair of Claw Air Max
Exactly.
ones, fogging up the toe box.
I see you're wearing.
Packer shoes.
Yep.
Shout out, Mike.
4D. Do you feel like you're in the fourth dimension right now?
No.
Isn't the fourth dimension time?
I defer to you. You're better at that stuff than I.
I mean, according to Joe Rogan, the fourth dimension is where you travel after you eat DMT. But
Is it?
Okay.
We might skip all the way to the sixth.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dimension 6.
oh yes, the
a little-
original Nike name.
A little Nike deep cut for you people. Oh, speaking of Nike, I saw Space Jam 2 over the weekend.
Okay.
And I was expecting it to be a one big Nike commercial, and it turns out it's actually one big Warner Brothers commercial.
Okay.
Have you guys seen it yet?
No.
I haven't.
What a weird movie.
Good or bad?
Pretty bad.
People are saying it's for the kids.
Okay. I get that. It is a kids movie, but also adults wrote it, and adults made this thing happen.
Well, I mean,
and
adults write like all kids' books. It's like not like kids' books are written by children.
Absolutely, but I'm still saying that there are grown-ups who have to answer for this thing, and it was just
You
such
didn't like it at all.
I mean, I enjoyed, I guess, the experience, but the whole, like I said, it's basically a commercial for the Warner Brothers IP universe, which is such a strange premise.
Explain that though. What do you what do you mean? But like, what were the instances where you're like, oh,
like there's Harry Potter elements in it, and they travel to the Matrix land at some point.
Oh,
and,
I didn't know that.
A chunk of it is set in the Warner Brothers lot, and they're discussing which Warner Brothers. It's just like, it's very in your face about Warner Brothers, and really not a beloved brand in my life.
I don't know if I'm going to get
Casablanca is in there. Like, how did we go back to just to remind you? Yeah,
oh, I had heard that there's Clockwork Orange.
Yeah,
Droogs are in the.
like why?
Who I mean, I love them, but I have no idea of what the correlation between people who want to watch LeBron James play against cartoon characters and wanting to watch people who are into the ultra violence.
Oh, Jesus. Just a weird movie, but I look forward to hearing you guys.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get to it anytime soon.
Okay.
Honestly.
Are you back in the theater at all, Joe? Have you seen any movies in the big screen?
I'm not. I do want to see the Bourdain movie, though.
Yeah, okay. That's another weird one, though. They have the AI
That
doing his voice. Like, it's a deep fake. Did you hear about this, Welty?
Yeah, and wasn't there one of his family members or something that said that they didn't approve of it?
Yeah, I'm
There's some
not sure.
controversy
I'm not sure, but
behind it,
just weird
I do want to
choices
see it.
being made.
I heard it's very sad.
Yeah. Do we have any sports talk to catch up on?
We'll see. There's a chance.
Could PJ Tucker get a
PJ
ring?
Tucker is getting a ring, and there's a chance that the Bucks are going to close out the series. Will we be watching?
Welty and I have a dinner to go to.
Yes.
Hold on. Let's address this. Is this a dinner that you told me about that I was not invited?
Yo, I asked.
What?
I asked this morning.
And what'd he say?
Okay,
He
hold
gave
up,
me a
hold up.
bullshit
Should we?
answer.
Like what?
Do you think he didn't give me a real answer?
Okay.
Who wants to explain what this dinner is?
So
How many people?
out of the blue, and let me see what the response actually was. So our friend PG Knows
Yep.
hit us up and said we are going to Ravage Persian Grill, which pound for pound the best kebab in New York City.
You heard it from Matthew J. Welty. Certified.
But he was like, Puneet, who runs Locker Room Kicks with Paul, who we shouted out.
Yeah. The
on
same
the thing.
locker room kicks who sold the Scars
Yes.
Air Force One via Sotheby's for
Yes, I'm trying
$122,000.
to
But this
find-
is just to make sure this isn't quid pro quo. After this happened, they decided they wanted to take us out to dinner. I have no idea why or what the content of the conversation
And just you
will
two.
Actually, I go, why didn't you invite JLP? I thought he's your man's. And
You said that to Paul. PG
Paul,
knows.
yes.
Who sold $121,000.
And he
cars at
sent
Force One.
me back a picture of Shannon Sharp sipping out of a straw.
What does that mean?
Do we have to? Are we putting like a
like
moratorium
this.
on mentions of
No
PG
idea.
on the show, Joe?
I think he was kind of a whoops, I forgot.
All right. Well,
Any message you want to send to him now in this
just
public forum?
thanks for no invite. So it's you four?
Well, there's somebody else on the text thread.
Yes, my friend Larry, aka Armenian Kicks, I think. But I had asked for Joe to come to the dinner.
I might be.
So it's tonight.
I might be able to bring some leftovers.
No, I'm good.
Do you want to pull up?
No. Crash the dinner that I wasn't invited to? No. But
Uninvited? Yeah. I mean, come on.
it's all
I'm
right.
sure they'd be
Enjoy.
happy to see you.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I hope we get some more details on. Again, not to rehash the topic we discussed last week too much, but I want to know who bought those shoes. So maybe they can let us know. And I guess maybe that means the wire cleared if they're taking us out to a fancy Persian dinner.
Have you ever been to that place?
Many a times.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Oh, other sporting news. Did you guys watch F1 this weekend? I don't know if you
I
remember
didn't.
that. That's a big part of my personality
Lewis
now.
Hamilton,
So,
no?
yeah, Lewis Hamilton coming
shopping
behind from the
guest?
penalty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sneaker shopping alum.
Yeah. He won.
Always wins, right?
Yeah,
a goat.
but
He's
this
a
is a
goat.
big year for Red Bull.
Yeah.
We can't talk too much about this because the F1 part of my personality is very new. So if we
Yeah.
get
Well,
too
you've
deep,
been-
like I text Damien Scott a lot about F1. You know, trying to really understand the whole scene. But
And you've been enjoying that Netflix
series, yeah.
I gotta check
did
that
it
out.
also. If you, it's hard to watch it without getting like hooked into the F1 situation. So once you do, talk to me, and then we'll get caught up.
Yeah, race cars were. I think I told you guys about this, but race cars were a big part of my growing up. My dad used to work for a company that was the title sponsor to one of Jack Roush, who's like one of the biggest NASCAR owners. Race car teams. So as a kid, we used to travel and go to the races on the weekend.
Is this his NASCAR?
It was partly NASCAR, but also there was like road racing leagues and too. But the moment was, and I was like embarrassed by this as a kid for some reason. I don't know why, but we had like show and tell in second grade, and my dad had asked Jack Roush if he could bring the actual race car to the school.
How could you possibly be embarrassed? That's the
I don't know, 'cause
coolest
that's
thing
awesome.
ever.
But at the
That's
time,
awesome.
here's my ant farm. And
I
then
don't
Welty
like. I
steps
don't.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
I have a hard time like when you're like the center of attention like that. You get kind of like embarrassed.
Hold on.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It seems like you love that now.
Thank you. Go on.
So it was like, oh, I have a race car, and I had like a toy one, right?
Oh,
and then
sick.
and then I was like, no, but I have the real one outside, and everyone's like, no, you don't. And then I was like, yeah, I do. And like
What a performance too. I love the setup. Like, here's a race car to show you.
yeah. So my dad got the trailer and like brought the actual Whistler Mustang race car and brought it outside. And I guess the whole school came and
Were you
took
like the
photos.
coolest kid at school?
I guess, but
Yeah, did
For
you
the-
get a lot
for
of
that
clout
day?
off of that?
I don't know. It was like second grade. I don't really remember it that much, but
You don't remember any feedback from your fellow students?
Do you have any pictures that we can put?
See, Joe's like, he thinks you're the lying kid in class who's like, my dad, because that's like a classic lie that
Yes.
a kid in elementary
my
school
dad's a
would
race
say.
car driver. Yeah, he wasn't a race car
exactly.
driver, but yeah, we used to go to a lot of.
Did you get to be in the race cars at all?
Man, this is so long ago that
Yeah.
it's all kind of like a blur. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like 8 years old when all of this is
Yeah.
happening.
A blur like the sidewalls whizzing by.
Yeah.
Maybe at Silverstone Racetrack as you speed by. In a
I
Red
just
Bull.
remember like going to dinners with a bunch of NASCAR drivers as like a little kid and like
That's cool.
Thinking that was kind of cool. But
Was it ever a career option for you?
to be a NASCAR?
You a good driver?
I mean, come on.
Are you a good driver?
I'm okay, but I don't.
But did you ever think? I would just think like if your father was involved in the industry in some way, that maybe you would have a dream that one day.
I don't know. I think at 8 years old, you're not really thinking too much outside of it, but as a reality, I mean, at 8 years old, you're not driving. You can't go and drive the race cars.
Lewis
so.
Hamilton was karting. Where were you? Okay, this is an important part of the show, and we got to get to it. We are giving away, as we always do, a free pair of sneakers, courtesy of our friends at eBay and the Authenticity Guarantee Program. Welty, what are we giving away this week?
We are giving away my favorite pair of
Great
Yeezy
pair.
sneakers.
Great.
Your
pair.
favorite of all the Yeezys, Nike and Adidas?
I would say that some of the Nike stuff ranks higher on the pantheon of I know this is a better shoe than this shoe, but like when it comes to what my personal favorite of something I would spend my money on and wear, this is the number one.
Okay.
Hands down.
Okay.
Yeezy 700 Wave Runner colorway.
His best Adidas shoe, I think.
Easy.
Yeah. Easy, which I always say that we had the debate. What year did they release?
This was, I want to say this was 2017, 2018.
And you, early on, you were like, this should be on the top 10 sneakers of the year. It made it, though, right?
No, it didn't. Joe blocked it because
You blocked this for being on the top 10 sneakers of the year?
And you know what he said should be on it instead?
It was a miss.
The Calabasas Power Phase.
It was a miss. I can admit.
You know how many
shots
shots Michael Jordan has missed?
I can admit when I was wrong.
To be fair, Calabasas Power Phase were heavy in the
I
streets
love
at the
that
time.
shoe still, but that one.
And it was like his most affordable sneaker to date, and you just saw it. And it was super available.
Yeah.
You saw everybody wearing it.
I love that shoe, but this one,
But
I was wrong. What a great shoe.
This
great
one
design.
to me, like, you know, he was doing all of the Nike stuff, super high basketball sneakers, and then he goes and does the 350s. But if you weren't into sock shoes, you kind of wanted.
And this guy is not into sock shoes.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
The thing is
He
that
hates
the
sock
350 came out, and then there was the NMD, and the whole industry went to sock shoes.
Yes.
You know, and sock shoes at that point seemed kind of just so mass and so uncool. You know, if like Skechers is doing it, it's like, why do I want this? And then Kanye enlists guest of the show, Stephen Smith.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith comes and basically designs what he was doing with New Balance and Nike and Reebok all throughout the years in a pair of Yeezys. I interview him about it. He almost loses his job for talking about the project.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, but just, I love the design, but the colorway I think is a lot of what makes this.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had a pair of those in the collection.
The 5 colors.
There's
Five
more-
colors
more-
rule?
Yeah, you got to count it out like Clark's did.
There's 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's 2 different greens.
Is that
4,
is that
5, 6, 7 colors on it.
Uh-oh.
But this is, I would say, this is like the antithesis of everything Kanye had done with Adidas to that point. This is
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
there's like 17 pieces on this shoe.
Yep.
Probably super expensive to make compared to a 350.
So we are giving those away. The lucky winner this week is Mia Fajardo. She's getting a pair of these Yeezy Boost 700s. And again, it's important to break down how exactly people are getting these sneakers. So every week, submit questions that can be asked of us here on the air. If we pick your question, we're going to send you a pair of shoes courtesy of eBay with the authenticity guarantee tag right on there so you know they're legit. We will look at the questions. We will pick a question. We will read a question here on the air. We will answer the question. You will get the satisfaction of hearing our answer, and you will also get a free pair of shoes. So Mia in Santa Barbara is getting these shoes.
Nice.
And the question that she asked, I have it right here, is has a relationship or friendship ever ended because of sneakers in your life? Has there ever been a moment footwear kind of broke up something special?
No, I mean, I
some
still don't know why
relationship?
Mayor wanted to lock me in the bathroom in Charlotte. Can that count? We still don't know why.
I'm sure it had something
But
to
that
do
was-
with sneakers.
That was exactly. That was like a year hiatus, but
Yeah.
we still don't know that story. But not for me.
Welty, is there anything in your life?
Actually, there is, but
Oh.
I actually don't want to discuss it on camera.
Okay. Is there any way? And
Change-
I don't want to put
change
you out there. Yeah,
names
can
and
we
brands
change
and
enough
times?
details to where the story is almost unrecognizable, but the spirit of it remains?
I think it was too recent.
Okay.
And you know,
Do I know the story?
yeah, we've all spoken about it. But I just kind of like, I don't think it's like appropriate to get into it. So
Okay, fair enough. Is there anything lower level that is further back in your life that you remember? Like, you know, the thing that I think about a lot is, and I know this has happened to people, and I suspect this happened to me, but when somebody asks you for help on a pair of sneakers and then you figure out later that they are going to resell
man.
that shoe.
Oh, that's bad. I guess.
like random people hitting you up and asking because that you haven't spoke to in forever, who find out you're doing this now, and they're like, hey, do you like remember me from like college? And like asking if like you can get their brother like a pair of Air Jordan sneakers, and you're like, No.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And I probably would agree that I'm probably like, I'm not going to even like,
You don't even wear Jordans.
no, but
but yeah,
insert any brand.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm not even going to like converse with this person because I don't want to be a jerk, but like, damn, that's out of line.
Yeah. Were there ever any friends of yours who asked you a question like that, and you were like, I'm not doing that?
Oh man, people ask me for things, I would say quite.
Skincare advice.
No. Sneakers. Ask me for sneaker
Fitness
stuff like
advice.
kind of quite often, and it's
course.
like, it's annoying because it puts you in a pickle. I think sometimes, where it's like, yeah, I'm a guy who does have connections in the sneaker industry and all of that, but sometimes I'm sure we can all agree it's tough to hit up your plug
Right.
and ask for something that's clearly not,
It's not
for
for
you,
you.
Well,
and it's like,
how many times we don't really hit up plugs that much?
and ask for
Right?
something.
Personally,
Yeah.
I try not
and
to.
ask for it.
Yeah.
It's the difference between
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to send you these shoes and it's the way that the nature of the relationship
Mm-hmm.
usually goes, because if it's like a PR person who naturally sends you shoes when different projects are coming out or you're
Mm-hmm.
working on different things.
Yeah.
But just to out of the blue say, can I get a size 10 in this
Yeah.
new release?
You know what? I will say, and we're getting a little bit away from the actual question here, but I do have a response to it. I will say that I actually kind of do appreciate sometimes when people ask me for help getting shoes, because I do think it's fun in a way of, if I can get the shoe without having to ask a favor, I get the satisfaction of kind of tracking a shoe down, or the whatever dopamine release I get from buying the shoe, but I don't have to spend any money on it, and I help the friend out. So I do like those
What I
moments.
really like to do to that point is when they're like, hey, I need a sneaker for so-and-so's birthday or so-and-so's Christmas gift. And I'm like, all right, what budget do you have? And then like you curate
Yeah.
like what they could get. And then I would say 9 out of 10 times you hear from them like, oh, they love the shoe. That's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's good. And I get satisfaction over that for
I think
sure.
it's different if someone's like, I want to buy this shoe, but I just need help getting it on release day.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then because I had a friend hit me up actually yesterday, and he wants one of the new shoes from the Spezial collection, and he's like, can you just help me get it?
buy the shoe.
Yeah, and I was like, sure, like
Yeah.
I'll look out, and if I can find something, I'll try and get you the sneaker. But yeah,
Yeah, I will say, and I actually, in response to the question, which again was, have you ever had a friendship or relationship ended because of sneakers? Not ended, and I don't want to, like Welty, it is still sensitive to me, and I've discussed it here before, so I'll keep the details somewhat vague, but not ended, but there was a family member with
Yes.
whom I had quite a rift for a while, because and I love this person, obviously, unconditionally, and this was a brief break in a long relationship, and I'm happy that we've mended it since, but a moment where I had been storing shoes at their house for many years.
Okay.
And
I remember this.
They
and,
torched them.
yeah, they dipped into the stash and were wearing some of the shoes and things like that, and we had a big argument around it right around Christmas, and didn't talk for a while after that. And
But they were also, from what I remember, like pretty expensive and limited.
Yeah, there
old-
were, Dave White Jordan 1s, Cool Gray 11s, old Air Max 1s, a lot of stuff I had collected during college, and also stuff that I never got the chance to wear for the first time, stuff that was
Yeah.
dead stock that...
or stuff that you had probably stored for so long that maybe you were banking on, like, oh, I'm finally going to be able to flip this one day once it's old and worth a ton of money.
Yeah. And I definitely, just disclaimer, in case the person is listening or watching, hopefully listening, not watching, because of the eye thing. But, do not hold any ill will against them for that. And
We
we've
moved past it.
thankfully moved on. So,
Got it.
yeah. So, shout out to Mia. Free pair of Yeezy Boost 700s coming your way.
Cool.
All right. I think it's time. Listen, second week in a row in the new studio, second reoccurring guest in a row. But this person, I feel like, really set off the Complex Sneakers podcast. If you haven't listened to the first episode, it was December 2019. Seems like a lifetime ago. Reselling sneaker OG, Flight Club OG, Chris Vidal, welcome back. Yes.
How are you, Chris?
And look at he
going
came
on,
correct.
guys?
Look at what he's wearing.
Signature shoe.
Wow.
PlayStation
I
Air
feel like you're on the
Force
Tyra
Ones.
Banks show all over again.
We're right
Literally,
up
is
there.
Are any, of you
setup
guys, are any of you
kinda-
guys going to get on your knees and take off my sneakers and smell them at the end of the show? I don't think so.
That
right?
might be a hit on YouTube. I feel like there's some niche corners of the internet where that kind of content can really go
I
far.
mean, make it for a good
Just let
thumbnail.
Soldier Boy know that I was first, Soldier Boy. All right, I was first.
Yeah. See?
Chris, speaking of eyes, how does my eye look?
Like it's looking at me.
It
Do
totally
you notice anything or no?
perfect. Okay.
Yeah, it's going.
Chris, we're so happy to have you back here.
Yes.
I'm so stoked to be here again.
I feel like this is something we want to do again and again,
Definitely.
kind of have people who are friends of the show. We already told your whole story or a good chunk of your story in the world of sneakers when we first had you, but just kind of wanted to have you back to discuss some current events and just how you're feeling, see what's been going on in the
What's
world
the last
of
pair
Chris
of
Vidal.
sneakers that you bought?
I'm waiting for the Pata Air Max 1. That's
Oh, you
on
got
its
those
way.
friends and family on the way?
Yeesh.
This is the upcoming pair that
Yeah.
the leaked
The
pair.
curry-looking colorway.
You like those?
Of course.
Why, of course.
I mean, Pata's a brand that I love and have represented since its inception in 2004. You know,
Yeah.
like
Shout out G and Edson.
G, Edson, Tim, Nika, the whole of them. I send them my love, my condolences also. But, like they've been representing for sneaker culture since 04. And then when they did their first 5-year anniversary Air Max 1, those are like the top hit Air Max 1s
Which
of all
one
time.
was that? Was that one of the first corduroy ones?
Yeah,
The
that was that
purple
whole
denims,
pack.
Oh
the,
my
the
God, yeah,
corduroys,
so
the
good.
chlorophylls.
Were you helping them? Because I know that like their origin story was they were like going to New York and buying all the sneakers and bringing them back to Holland. Were you
I
helping
mean,
them?
if you remember sneaker culture, it was all about relationships within the stores. Everybody knew each other. They'd come from the UK, China, Japan was the number one hotspot back then.
Yeah.
And even Peter from SNS,
Yeah.
Tim, Edson, G, there was Metro Sports in the UK, Sneaker Man, Cash. They would all come to the U.S. They'd stop by Alife, and be like, "Yo, did you guys get this, or did you get the new Puma collab, or did you get the new Reebok collab, or did you get the Asics collab?" Remember when Alife did the Asics with the googly eyes, the green
course,
monsters,
yeah,
the
and
monster pack, yes.
the first real like glow in the dark sneaker for like mainstream us, like not just kids and stuff like that. But helping them, being their friend more,
Were you trading
like,
stock? Alife trading stock to whatever Pata had? and
Alife
things
did a
like
couple
that?
things,
Yeah.
and we did a collaboration with Pata in the beginning with a Penfield jacket, I believe it was.
Okay.
Early
Yeah.
on, then the Penfield walkabouts, and they opened up collaborations for a lot of friends of the stores,
Yeah.
You were so big in the A-Life circle, and I remember even when we did the sneaker roundtables, like I think at that time you were you working there?
The round table was
Early
what
on?
year?
Must have been
2011.
Yeah,
He's got
something
Yeah, I
the
like
years
started
off
there in
top,
2008.
and it closed in May.
Yeah, this year they well, actually the space closed, not the brand. The
Okay.
brand
Right,
is
the brand
still
still
going.
exists.
They
Yeah.
still have
Brand
an
is
online
still
store
on.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Trey,
Still
Rob,
got
still
mad
doing
love
stuff,
for
yeah.
Rob, Trey,
Yeah.
a couple of the other guys that started in the beginning aren't really much involved, but they're still fam. Tony Arcabasio, Arnaud, I haven't seen him in years, but whatever. Kunle, everybody. A-Life was more about the beginning of like the brands and everyone forming, like, the retail mafia started back then.
What's the
Like,
retail mafia?
Retail Mafia was Source, Supreme, Anything, A-Life. It was like a group of the big names, the guys that,
And they all worked
that-
in unison, basically?
I mean, we didn't make collaborations, but we did like the Zippos, we did that Levi's thing back in 04. You got to remember like A-Life and a lot of these brands opened up doors for collaborations.
Right.
When we did the Canada Goose, I wasn't with them. That was 2006 for their 50th year. Canada Goose would have never done a collaboration with a random New York brand
Right.
that's promoting graffiti and art and weird people.
I don't remember we talked about it last time, but like, what was the wildest A-Life session that you were at? Like with the parties though that they had with like
In the
Drake and.
backyard.
Yeah.
I'm married. I can't talk about that.
Okay.
Do you remember Drake coming to?
Yeah, there's a video on Vimeo on the A-Life account that I shot with Cliff Cristofaro. He's Rob Cristofaro, the founder's brother.
Okay.
He goes by the Crystal Pharaoh, amazing editor, production, and camera video dude. yeah, so I mean, I filmed that whole thing. I didn't move, like I was drinking the whole time and smoking and filming, like following Drake, like in his face the whole time. So if you get a chance, check it out on Vimeo. It's really dope. I'm not plugging Vimeo. I don't get paid for any of that, but
Do you remember? Did you have any like sneaker conversations with him at the store? Or do you remember any of that sort of
Drake
stuff?
talked really to Tommy and Dice.
Yeah,
He came in
Tommy
through
Campos.
them. Like Tommy's like big name over at OVO right now. He opened up retail stores for them here in New York. He hired the whole team that was at Alife: Angie, Manny, Travis, a bunch of them. Kept it alive. For the store dudes. Drake was in the shop, and I think he was so excited to perform there. Because Alife had, or was, and still is, like the holy grail of like these concerts where you were either allowed in or you weren't allowed in. It was like you found out about it the same day. You was invited or you wasn't invited. The Nas concert, Drake, Q-Tip, Biz Markie, with Dougie Fresh, rest in peace. Which I also got a chance at Packer Shoes when Biz Markie and Kid Capri did the barbecue for Packer there. That was amazing, But
Mike, actually, I realized, I got to mention Biz Markie real quick because I think there was one point where we were considering getting him on Full Size Run because I looked back at my text messages and I had one random text message from Mike Packer being like, you got to get Biz Markie on Full Size Run because he's obviously such a
didn't get him
big
on?
sneaker guy. No, we never made it happen, unfortunately.
his was the only episode on It's the Shoes that they didn't do a Remember These section. Remember It's the Shoes?
Yeah.
I was tweeting about that the other day because I remember watching the Bobito ESPN2 It's the
And
Shoes.
me,
Yeah.
Chris wants his credit.
And him. Yeah.
But I just remember like that Biz Markie episode was awesome because they went to
Amazing.
his
The
house
shoes
and
that he pulled out
he had like these big cardboard boxes where it was just like Gucci and Bally shoes from the 80s.
He had
that
the
were
original
like dead
Bally's
stock.
still in his
Yeah.
stash, like the ones that he wore on stage. He had, when I first met him at like in the sneaker world at Flight Club in like 2005, 2006, huge persona, big person, leaned over the counter. He goes, "What you got on my side?"
He was
He's like, "I don't want to."
Yeah.
He was like, "Got those, got those, got those."
Big
got
collector.
those, got those. And I was like, "How many shoes?" He said, "About 7,600 at the time."
Wow.
At the time. That
Biz
was
Markie
like,
had 7,600 shoes.
yeah.
This is
I think
2005,
I
2006
think when
or
he
something?
did It's the Shoes
He
in,
said
in
it.
06, he had probably like 5. He had just cut down or something like
He
that.
had said on the It's the Shoes, and I always remember this one line. He was like, when I used to get my little rap check, I went into a store in Newark and was like, "Give me anything."
Yeah. He was dead ass. He was just like that. He really loved footwear. And it was like that for a lot of us here also. These jobs, these brands, and all this came into play because you guys all became personalities within something that you were passionate about, which is dope. I commend you guys. It's awesome watching you guys and talk the ish that you talk. Like, I try to get at Matt on Twitter, but too many defenders there.
Oh yeah, no. He
I
tries
say
to,
something, they come at
You
me
came
right
at Matt
away.
Welty on
Try-
Twitter?
he always
Couple
try-
times.
he always
Why,
tries to
over what?
No, he just tries to stir it up.
What was it?
He's a pot stirrer.
He's a provocateur. What was
Yes.
it, Chris?
I'm trying to get 50 Cent's title of Troll of the Year.
What-
Can't get it. Though.
How
It's
did,
too
how did you
hard,
come
though.
at Welty?
I don't remember what it was.
It's always some dumb shit. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you call yourself a real sneakerhead when you co-sign so and so and da da da?
Some
I'm
shit,
like,
you know?
Oh my god!
It's always cordial though, right?
Yeah,
It's pretty,
of course.
yeah.
pretty
I
cool,
mean,
too.
sometimes it comes at like I get the notification and it was at like 3:00 in the morning, and I'm like, well,
Yeah, it's the only time you have as a dad to be you, because all day long you're a dad. Once the kids are asleep, you stay up late, you watch your movies, you
Throw
binge,
some
you play
tweets his
video
way.
games,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
burn
get in Matt
something, you go on
Welty's
Twitter, you go on
mentions.
Instagram, you start some beef or whatever.
Chris, this might be hard for you to quantify, and I know that you've told us a story about how you got those, but you've been on all these stores and worked at Flight Club back in the day. In your mind, what's the one pair of sneakers where you got these and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I got these sneakers?
It would probably be the Undefeated Jordan 4 when
Yeah.
I was gifted it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was gifted that by homie Marco Rodriguez and his dad, Mike Acevedo. He was the CFO or the COO of Capital One Bank. And they walked in to buy something, right? And he was flaunting his name. I was like, yo, I have a Capital One credit card. He goes, you do?
Thanks
That's
for being part of the
awesome.
family.
Yeah.
I go, look, it's a platinum card. He goes, it's great. I go, it's $1,000 credit limit. what can I buy that's platinum with that? Mm-hmm. He goes,
You told him
really?
that?
I told him just like that. I said, you should call this like the silver card. And he was like, dude, he took my card and scratched it on the, to copy the numbers. I got a call the next day from some woman in relationship services. Hey, Mr. Vidal, we'd just like to inform you that your credit limit has been raised to blah, blah, blah. And I was
Wow.
like, what? She was like, yeah, thank you for being a Capital One customer. And I was like, word. Thank you very much.
And then wait, but
so how did you get the
Undefeated?
shoes?
He was like, his son was just like really hyped into sneakers. And like, people were like, oh, this dude's corny. Oh, this. And I was
Talking
like, yo,
about
that's
you?
the same way I am.
Or talking about- oh.
No, I was like, that's the same way I am. I walk in a spot sometimes and I'm like, you got my size, yo?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have my size before
Yeah.
I freak out. No. Like, I think when I bought like the Year of the Dog Air Force Ones with the synthetic
Yep.
dog hair, like, I still have the sticker on them. I was looking at those today, and I was trying to think of like, damn, where did I get these? And I remember walking in, and they had my size, and I was like, mad excited. I was like, yo, you all right? And I was like, yo, you don't know, man. I just get stoked when.
Wait, so his son just gave you the shoes, or
So then they were like talking to me about, and Eddie had
Eddie Cruz from?
told me I there were no more pairs. I'd bought a T-shirt. I went to Union.
That's your man?
I mean, he's the first Puerto Rican dude in the sneaker game, like, so I kind of followed,
Yeah.
took over New
From
York
New
when he
York.
left
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
he went to Cali to do.
Before Bobito?
Well, no, Bobito's the OG Puerto
Okay,
Rican, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like he's all around basketball, street,
for sure.
music.
Yeah.
Eddie Cruz is footwear,
Sneaker guy, yep.
undefeated, right? But of
We're
course,
gonna get to the story
Bobito-
of how we got the shoe. We keep missing it.
Yo, so then he's like, yo, what do you what do you want that you can't get? I was like, a pair of undefeated Jordan 4s. It didn't even take me a second to say it. I was like, a pair of
The
undefeated
son of
Jordan
the
4s.
Capital One.
No, the dad. The
Yeah,
dad.
the
He was
dad
like, yo,
asked
you've
you.
been so cool with my son, like you helped him get I had St. Vincent same area ways. Like I had those I had a whole bunch of LeBron PEs at the time, and he was a huge LeBron fan. And then I was like, yeah, I'm a size 10, bro. He's like, yo, I'm a size 10. I was like, yo, I got most of these for free. So I'm not gonna like try to get over on you because you guys been super cool. So you can give me like box price for these, like, and then there was like those graffiti LeBron. I had like a whole
Yeah,
collection
LeBron
of them
4s, yeah.
because I was just buying stuff like you do, and I just didn't like those chunky basketball shoes at the time. And like, I was like, yeah. So I sold them like the St. Vincent St. Mary's home and away. They were like green and white, white
Yep.
and green. The Superman LeBrons, remember? There
Yep.
was like, and the graffiti ones.
LeBron
I
3s,
gave them
I
to him
think
for like
it
$1,000, all 4 pairs.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, dude, you hooked me up. What can I hook you up with? I was like, get me a pair of undefeated Jordan 4s. 2 days later, they walked into the store and handed me a pair of undefeated Jordan 4s.
Wow.
It was raining outside. I put them shits on and went to Manor. Remember Manor on 13th Street? I was stunting. I thought I was
Where did they get the
gravitating.
shoes?
No idea. No idea at the time. And then later on, he told me he bought them from Riff. And he had ordered them because Flight Club didn't have them.
Was that competition? Did you feel any type of way wearing a Riff sneaker?
I mean, nah.
You
I
said
mean,
you got
with
in
the Flight
trouble
Club,
for
right?
I
buying.
got in trouble for
buying
buying from Riff
Right.
in 06 for my birthday, 05, because we didn't have cement threes, black cement threes, and they had them in my size, and they were cheaper than the ones we had. So I ordered them to the store, and to Manique, and I don't remember who else. They were just talking maddish to me, like, "Oh, you corny, you blah." And then Riff blocked me from buying more shoes from them.
Do you still have the undefeated 4s?
I speak to El Jefe now on Instagram and Twitter. He's mad cool from Riff. He's the homie.
But do you
Never
still-
met him in person.
You
but
sold
he's
the
definitely
undefeated
the homie.
4s?
No.
You
I
sold them?
skated in them at Sneaker Pimps in
Yeah, you were telling us
2009.
that.
The soul was kind of like separating in 2013
We got to get in touch with
when
the
I was
Capital One
working
guys
at
and see if we can get a new
Supra.
pair.
Yeah.
So I was working at Supra and I had them in the store with me. I forget why. I was trying to get them like see if they would get them glued back or whatever. And these two
Yeah.
guys, they were from Jersey. They had a site called 10 and a half or something, like my size or 10 and a half your size, something like that. He's like, yo, I'll give you 2,000. I was like, no. He was like, I'll give you 3,000. I was like, no. He's like, I'll give you 4,000. I was like, no. He was like, I'll give you. I was like, sure. You can have them. And I bought a Banksy print right after.
So you flipped the.
So listen, I bought a Banksy print for $3,500, had some money left over, and that Banksy print now is worth, I think, $78,000.
Did you invest the other 500 in Bitcoin?
No, I wish. I was scared of Bitcoin back then. I didn't know what it was, man. It was like, you know, I was offered Bitcoin for kicks, for art, for this, for that. And I was like, nah, I don't want that. I don't even know what that is. I can't hold the money. I don't want it. Oh, what about your money in the bank? You can't hold it, but I can go get it and hold it, right?
Yeah. What year were you at Supra?
2012 to 2014.
Okay, so
Lil
definitely-
Wayne, all that.
Definitely later, but and the book wasn't out. The Complex Sneaker of the Year book wasn't out when we had it on the podcast. But 2007, the Super Skytop was actually, we crowned it the best sneaker of 2007. Do you remember that gold Skytop and how
I give
crazy?
Chad Musko all the credit in the world, man.
Yeah.
Him, Eric Ellington. Like now you see Nigel Houston. You
Eric
see
Ellington, who's about to do a shoe with Li Ning.
Yep, he's introducing them to the skate market. All those dudes were rock stars, bro. They were the rock stars of skateboarding because we had Tony Hawk, we had Mike McGill, Rob Roscott, we had Jeff Kendall, Matt Hensley, Mike Vallely, Sal Barbier, and I could keep going, Matt. All these different skaters, but they were they're the current rock stars they're the ones busting these crazy 360 ollie like Chris Cole in X Games doing tricks that people weren't trying. He's going. Skytop comes out and you don't even know it's a skate shoe. You're like,
Jay-Z's wearing it.
Yeah.
what are those? And then everybody all of a sudden became experts on vulcanized soles. It's like, oh yeah, it's got a vulcanized sole. It's like this tape they put in the oven. I was like, holy shit, how do you know that?
Yeah.
And then they'd come and be like, yo, you have any vulcanized shoes? And I'd be like, do you skate? They're like, nah, but it's so comfortable. I'm like, I know, they really are.
And even though it was earlier, it lasted for when you were there?
Skytop went to the Skytop 4.
Terry-
I introduced the 3 and the 4 at Supra on Prince Street and in Brooklyn through Matt Fontana, who was president of Global Brands at the time. There was like Corey Long there. Brandon and Josh Brubaker, who now have Clear Weather, were the shoe designers at the time. So
Was that Bieber era of Super Skytop? Do you
Let
remember?
me tell you that everybody that walked into the store was like, yo, you have the Justin Biebers? And I'd be like,
Really?
No.
Did you know who Bieber was at the time?
I mean, if I didn't, I'd be foolish.
Yes, he had to know.
I just don't know how much Bieber you
was,
have
but
in your
I mean,
Serato.
people would come from Brazil, from Europe, from Spain, from everywhere in the world, from Canada. Like, yo, you have the Justin Biebers, and I'm like, oh, do you mean the purple suede high top?
Yes, that
the
was
one
the
with
one.
the two, with
The two.
like that's called the Supra Skytop 2. We do not have it. We have different colors, but if you go to another store, ask for Supra Skytop 2, because if you say the Justin Bieber, they're gonna abuse you. What do you mean? It's all right.
Did
Do
Bieber
what
come
you
in?
want. Never. I even tried. I used to find photos. There was a photo of Justin Bieber and Will Smith. That was he was wearing the Super Crown hat and a pair of Skytops, and I'd send it to the brand, and they were like, that's cool. I was like, why don't we do a concert or invite him to a party? They were like, no, he does everything for free. We don't, need to. I was like, that's.
And then I think even Wayne on Sneaker Shopping said that when he was going to get his Super deal, they almost wanted it to rival the Yeezy. Do you remember anything about that?
I kind of do, but I didn't sit on that conversation.
Okay.
I probably, that brand isn't even owned by Angel anymore.
Like a bump by
K-Swiss bought
K-Swiss, yeah.
Supra in like 2016 or
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
something
think
like
Supra
that.
went out of business
No,
overall,
the
right?
site is still online. I don't know if they're the stores. I mean, I opened up Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Santa Monica, and I was on the phone all the
I
time.
remember
for
you were
Paris.
at the Brooklyn store a lot.
Well, yeah, I opened that store.
Yeah, I just
with,
remember, like,
Mike
randomly.
Livingston, and it was just a bit ahead of its time. It was off where people were shopping. It was kind of near downtown Fulton, J Street, iconic downtown Brooklyn, but it was on Atlantic and Smith, which is a totally different and awesome neighborhood in itself, but it wasn't where people were going to look for skate shoes.
Chris, since you were on the show, one big thing happened in the sneaker world that
Just one?
Well,
Bunch of things.
one big thing in the whole Nike reselling scandal with Annie Bear and her son, the Nike, like...
Oh, yeah. Annie Bayer.
Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her son who was...
What was his name? The official West Coast plug or something
West
like
Coast
that?
Joe.
I'm sure
What
Brendan
is it?
can give more official details on it.
Joe Bear, her son, a reseller. Were you paying attention to that saga? Because
I watched it after.
This reselling thing has gotten to be so big, and you were kind of there in the early stages of it. Does it surprise you how insane it is now? Do you pay attention to things like that?
I don't believe a lot of it. You know that? I see a lot of like the pictures of boxes and stuff like that, and I don't really believe that they get all that inventory because stores don't get that much inventory. As a retail location, Alife, you'd only be allocated what was given to that store.
36 pairs or something.
Not even sometimes, depending on the shoe, the availability.
Sometimes you get 12 pairs of shoes.
12, 18 was like pretty much the standard. It'd be like 1.7, 1.7.5,
Yeah.
2.8s, 2.8.5,
Yeah.
3.9, you know, like, and it would go 113 and that
Full
was
size
it.
run.
Yeah, you know, and that's the breakdown, you know, like, but they show like 70 pairs of Yeezys and 80 pairs of, you know, like, I mean, I heard about Trophy Room, what happened there.
What'd you hear?
You know, like.
What'd you think about that?
What can you say? You know, I wish they would have told me so I wouldn't have wasted time waiting online trying to buy a pair. You know, watching the spinning wheel of death. You know, just waiting. You know.
Who's to blame for this stuff? Because that's one question that I think comes up a lot, where some people want to blame resellers because for such a long time, I think in sneakers,
If there was no
reselling
resellers, there'd be
was
no
taboo.
market. I'm sorry. If there was no resellers, there'd be no market. There'd be no collecting. Look at art.
Right.
Art is the same way, right? Artists put out editions, galleries buy them up and sell and resell them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with sneakers. I mean, it was so much different before.
But do you
with
think there are more people now who are only in it to resell and don't necessarily
Well, yeah, everybody
care about
thinks
the
that
shoes?
they got the golden ticket. You know, like they oh, I need that shoe. Oh, I lost out all this money today because I didn't get this pair of off-whites. And like, okay, cool. You didn't spend $180 to make $700, but you didn't lose anything. You lost some time. That's about it. But people's lives are like so affected. I'm like, yo, that's not why we did this. We did this to buy more sneakers, to have more money, to floss more. You know, it's kind of like that commercial. I do coke so I could work longer, so I can make more money, so I could do more coke. You know, like
commercial is that?
I buy sneakers. That's way before your time. You know, it's like
What's the commercial for?
About drugs. There used to be one that was 2 eggs frying in a pan. It was like,
Oh, yeah,
this
okay,
is your
okay.
brain on drugs. You know, so it's like, yo, I wear sneakers, right? And I buy sneakers so I can resell
You made
sneakers,
money so
so I
you
can
could
buy
buy
more
more
sneakers.
sneakers, yeah.
So I can resell more sneakers, so I can buy more sneakers.
I had tweeted something a while ago, and I guess it was a bit controversial.
Just delete your account.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But when I had said, because I was thinking about,
Then you wouldn't have anybody to tweet at 3
Yeah.
in the
At
3
morning.
a.m.
I
Yeah.
thought we were having,
Have somebody
a
else
lot
to
of
tweet at
conversations we've had with you and other OG people like Dre, Croatian Style, where a lot in Corgi, where it's like a lot of these early resellers were even talking about Peter from SNS and Edson and G, who ended up starting Pata, where it's like a lot of what we call modern day sneaker culture. I know sneaker culture started in the 80s with hustlers and athletes and all that, but if you want to talk about like post 2000s boutique limited edition sneaker culture, it started with a lot of resellers who kind of helped found the game. But people want to hate on the idea of anyone reselling, but there's a lot of monumental figures who were resellers.
Of course.
I can explain this, right? So the reseller that we talk about today, right, is the guy that's just buying anything he sees and putting a
PS5s,
putting money on it and reselling, right? The guys that you're talking about that started brands built off their passion of collecting and buying footwear, were buying shoes that they loved to bring back to where they couldn't be bought. So when they opened up SNS in 1999 in a little shady area of Stockholm, if you have those Adidas from the A to Z pack from 2000, they have the story on them. The ZX 100, maybe whatever it was. But like it has the whole story about how it was just him and Eric in a little store and they love footwear. Edson and G are the same way. They love the music. They used to come to New York to Fat Beats, and to buy records. And sneakers and it's their passions that were greater than their profits. Now it's more about profit over passion, because most dudes will sell their shoes and not even wear the ones they really want. I need that. You don't need anything. Like you're full of it. You want it so you can dress nice in front of other guys and show them that you got it, and then you regret wearing it because you wanted to resell it. So that's like today's market, like.
Do you think the brands are playing into it too much? Because that's a lot of these younger resellers, and I don't think we can dismiss them universally, but to me, they are always like, well, if you're upset at this, if you're upset that you can't get a shoe,
Talk to Nike about it.
Yeah, blame Nike because Nike's the one who made only 10,000 pairs, only 20,000 pairs.
In 2006, when the Spizike released, remember when they were doing the signed hang tags?
The white, green, and
the
the
white,
black,
green, red,
yeah.
the first one.
You a Spizike guy, or are you a fan of
I have
Spizike?
them still.
I like the
Spike-
black and green and red ones.
Right, the one that came out right after, right? So there was a line outside Foot Locker 34th Street. And, I had called someone at Foot Locker upstairs and was like, yo, I really would like a pair. I'm not going to resell them at the shop.
You
He's
just
like,
wanted them
cool.
to wear.
I'm going to have a pair held for you downstairs. I hit up somebody at Jordan brand too. You know, it's like, yo, can you tell me? I go there and they're like, the dude Eric was the manager. He's like, hey, what's up, man? I said, yeah, I'm Chris. I work over at this store. They put me a hold. Yeah, cool. I walk in. The kid that was first online filmed or did something. His sister was a lawyer. He fucking went to Nike with all this stuff. They sent the
Wait
letter.
a minute.
Yo,
He was capturing evidence of
Yo.
you getting held down on a pair of Spizikes at
walking
Foot
in
Locker.
the store past the line, and he used my name and everything. I got a letter
So
from Nike.
he put together
at
a
the time
dossier
saying,
to
hey,
snitch to Nike.
Phil Knight.
Yo, no, it wasn't like Phil Knight. It was like somebody in the sales department at the time. It's like, hey, can you not do this? You know, like, and I was like, wow. I later found out who it was. Banned them from flight clubs.
Do we
Yo,
know? Do we remember their name to
I
this day,
can't.
or
I
is it
wouldn't
not
do
a
that.
name?
It's just
not
not
a name
cool.
to
It's
say
just
on
not
air.
cool. He was a kid at the time. He was
Yeah.
really
Wow,
hurt.
A Spizike pair.
You know, imagine
and
that.
a hold.
Imagine you became a sneaker snitch over a pair of Spizikes.
But wait, I want
But
to
he
give.
was known by everybody. Everybody knew it. They
Was it
knew the
Bongo
deal.
Boy?
They knew that he. No, that kid was all right.
Yo, what are you doing? Don't
I'm
throw his
joking.
name
Hold
out
on,
there.
hold on.
That kid was all right.
He's
Bongo
going OG.
Okay,
Boy.
he was all right. And
No, I
I
was just
remember.
saying, oh,
he
he
was
met
a
his
hard
dad
worker.
and everything.
Yeah,
He was
Look
a
at
no, he
this
was an
guy.
OG
He
dude
was an
filming
OG.
everything.
He's a young kid that's been
Yeah,
around.
he
Yeah,
interviewed
I'm
me.
joking. I'm
Yeah,
He had that
joking.
weird
Come on.
look though, right?
Chris, I want to get back to it though. No disrespect to Bongo Boy. Welty brought up his name.
I
not me.
like that kid. He
So
was
do
around.
I.
Do you
I haven't
think?
seen him in 15,
Me either,
16
but
years.
yeah.
Do you
He
think
had the
it's-
Cuddy interviews? He had the Cuddy interviews at the Babe store. He was always there. With
Hold on.
Do you think it's on the brands though to make these things more accessible? Like, should they be blamed when?
I want to know why Nike puts out a shoe on the sneakers app and then says sold out, and then there's a restock. How's the brand, the manufacturer, saying the shoe's sold out? And then
So
the
you don't
next day,
necessarily trust
there's a restock?
Nike's, messaging around that
I mean,
type of stuff.
look at what's happening now at Nike. There's been multiple investigations, arrests of high level individuals, and a couple others that like have gotten caught out there doing whatever this, that, and the third. And now they're like, oh wow, look where all the sneakers went. Look at this woman who
Kyle
her son
Yamaguchi.
was using supposedly her discount, to buy at the employee store. Like, cool. Don't OD. Buy 4 pairs at once. Don't buy 40. And then, you lost. Mommy lost her job now. That's what happens.
How do you feel about the new trend of people reselling white on whites, Air Force Ones?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Like
there was a
they're-
really good video on Instagram about Foot Locker, the 111 and the 117. Did you see that?
No.
There's,
Explain that.
there's 2 Foot Locker employees that are like, yo, if you come here to buy white on
Oh,
whites,
I
you seen
got
that
you.
white? He's like, we got 2 different pairs, right? And I understand because you have the
The,
ones
the
that
color code, the 111.
right, 111 versus
dash
111. So,
11.
and like I understand because a lot of them are PU, like polyurethane leather, and then you find other ones that have like suede hits or they're
Yeah.
stitched differently
Yeah.
and they're better quality, and the sole doesn't look as chunky or whatever, but I'll be honest with you, man. The white on white, Clark Kent swears by the Holy Grail is the greatest shoe of all time. I hate white on white, plain
Why?
white on white.
Okay, let's.
Why?
They
Let's
crunk
get-
up.
That's a hot
They're-
take.
they're
Let's see.
one-time wears. That's the
Synthetic
only
rat
reason.
leather.
Have you seen that
You know-
people are wearing them now beat up?
No, that is a trend with young female sneakerheads. I want to say they wear like high-waisted, acid light wash jeans.
Okay.
And beat up Air Force Ones, like, and I'm just like. And they're only white on whites. And it looks like they tried to clean them, but when you try to clean them, the stitching gets gray and dirty. Like when you try to brush the sides.
What would the reaction have been back in the day? Like,
No, you get
no, glory days of Flight Club or whatever, or even like
Or
before
Alife, yeah.
before that, if someone showed up with a pair of cooked white Air
I mean, it
Force
became
Ones.
what are those, right? Remember that big
Yeah.
what are
Yeah.
those trend?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that died out,
But someone would
that
get
one was
roasted?
great for a while.
Like if your friend showed up with a pair of cooked white Air Force Ones, they're like getting torched by everyone.
they used to get abused. Rome was big on that, like Carlos. Not me, because I didn't really, like I spotted fakes right away. I'd be like, yo,
How?
where'd you get those? Because Nike or didn't make them. You know that, right? Yo,
Yeah.
mine's is exclusive.
You're
Cool.
calling people out
You
in
know,
the store for
of
fake?
in
course
the
he
store
was.
all the
Yeah.
time,
Yes,
all the
you
time.
tell.
Do me a favor. Don't tell anybody about these shoes. I know they're exclusive, but
Yeah.
please.
I know you had told
know-
us a story about terminologies, man showing up in the
Yeah, like
in the
somebody-
Mocha
he had
Fives, and you kicked him
Brown
out.
Mocha 5s. He was
You
like,
kicked him out when he was going to shoot
I was
a
like, no, you guys can't shoot the video. You've already shot and you can't finish it because a flight club can't be associated with
Yeah.
a pair of brown. He's like, yo, these are
He tried to tell you they were
Yeah, they're
super
exclusive.
limited,
Cool.
and you didn't.
Do you remember
you
any
hadn't.
other celebs coming into Flight Club with fake sneakers in
That's
that era?
foul, man. Don't make me do that. That's wrong.
I know you have
That's
probably have
mean,
some
though, you
names.
know,
You're trying
like,
to turn him into the sneaker
me.
snitch.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like I can't do that. You know, like, but I saw what happened with PG and Fat Joe and the Entourage,
Jeez.
the you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the Fukijamas. I had the blue
Another
white pair.
another Puerto Rican sneaker OG. We got to put him as long as we're mentioning them.
Yeah, Fat Joe
Yeah.
is the Don. He licked
Cartagena.
the shoe on MTV Cribs. That's everybody knows
That's
that.
history, baby.
Have you ever done that?
No.
You never did the sneaker.
Yo,
look?
Fat Joe came into Flight Club, like I told you, and bought everything that we had in
Yeah.
his size one day too. Everything Jordan. His thing was the linen Air Force Ones. That was his favorite shoe. He would have mad PEs. He had like Terror Squad Air Force Ones in every single color that you could imagine.
Yeah.
And for every video that he did, you know, like he's truly like one of the first dons to get those shoes done, you know, like as he wanted, when he wanted. You know, like, you know, you think of the Black Album, the Rockefeller, you know, like these guys, you know, and like Travis Scott came on later, his presence and his collaboration is huger than anyone's ever been.
You like the
know?
Travis Scott Jordans?
Yo, Travis Scott, I need a pair of the PlayStation Dunks, please, bro. Like, I made this shoe famous, and now, like, they gave it to you. I need a 10.5, bro, please.
So are you? Can you give an opinion on the Travis Scott? Or you're worried that he's not going to give you PlayStation Dunks?
Travis
if
Scott,
you,
what?
Air Force Ones.
No, I think
Jordans.
he's changed the game. You know, like I hated for a long time because for me it was an athlete-inspired sport. You know, like he's not an athlete, but he's a superstar. You know, and there's no taking anything away from him. You know, I may not think
You
his
might take a
songs-
pair of PlayStation
Or-
Dunks away from him, though, right? You might.
You know, I probably never get close enough to him to take a pair from
No,
him.
not
Then
take them.
you know,
Not
like,
take them.
unless
Like
he's
you
on the
would-
stage with you guys. Which
if he
you
sent
know?
them to you.
If he sent them to me, I'd be like, you know, you'll see my video over Miller's and be like, yo, the Miller be killing it. Them, BK the God, all these
Shout out
dudes.
to BK.
Oh, man.
Shout out to BK.
Where they wear all the crazy outfits on
Okay.
IG.
They're keeping it all alive, you know. I mean, if hype is a person or a movement, those guys have created something like Eric White Black.
Yeah.
White Beck, yeah.
White-
And
white
when you
black.
talk about the resellers, you can't forget like RV and Upscale Crack and Extra Pairs and all those dudes, you know, that are out there doing it every day. Soul Street, What's on Your Feet, you know, all the homies, you know. I don't get anything from them, but they're all homies.
What's the last pair since we've seen you that you kind of had to hustle to get? Has there been one?
The neutral gray Jordan 1 lows. The white OG Jordan 1 low.
It's crazy how white, how Jordan
white
1
low,
lows.
you know, the white gray neutral
Yeah,
gray,
yeah,
the
yeah.
original pair. Like
Yeah.
I tried on the app. I called a couple people and they were like, "No, we're not getting them. We're not getting them." And I was just like, "Oh, that's whack." And my boy was like, "Yo, what size are you?" I said, "10." He goes, "Yeah, that's good. I tried for you on the app." My boy Steve Stein at Pop Printing. He was like, "Yo, I got you a pair
On the sneakers
Nice.
app.
on the sneakers."
Have
app.
you ever won anything on the sneakers app?
I win. I used to win all the time. I win. I
Really?
post my wins. Yeah.
Do you have your phone? Can we see your wins? Because like I like to.
I saw
I like to go
Instagram,
through someone's history.
a
You
couple
saw my
weeks ago.
loses, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how long they keep the wins
They
on
should be
there
on there
for.
if you go to the profile.
You know, but I've
It's
got
always
a
an
couple
interesting
wins,
exercise to
you
see
know?
what people actually are able to buy.
Where we
on
go
the
here,
sneakers
right? See, look.
app. Can I see it?
Yeah, sure.
Here, let me see your
I
phone.
don't know how far down.
I promise I
you
won't
go
go
to the
into your
purchase
text
history,
messages.
right?
Yeah,
You
let's
go to
see.
the purchase history and look at it.
Okay, purchases. What do we got? Jordan 4s. Some,
But yeah, the
some wheat Air
resellers,
Max
the game
1s.
it is what it is right now because of places like Flight Club and
Oh, we
and,
got the
and Riff
Off-White
LA.
Hyperdunks. You wanted
and
the Off-White Hyperdunks? How did that get on here?
the one from the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 10.
Yeah, that was the.
That's a shoe for you? I wouldn't have.
you
I
get
wouldn't have thought
buckets
that
in
was a
them,
Chris
Chris?
Vidal
sold
shoe.
that shit for like $1,200.
Okay.
bucks, I think. Right. You know, I just had it.
Supreme Delta Forces.
I tried for stuff and just keep it. You know, like throwing this. I
Curry
have
Air
so
Max
much stuff in
1s.
storage.
This is one of the better sneakers. I want to show if I can show the rest of the.
do whatever you want. Where'd you get
Anything
the
I
clots?
want? Mr. Chen.
Oh, nice. I bought the two pairs, the Matcha and the Kiss of Death.
Good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Underrated.
He's hit a lot of stuff. This is maybe the best sneakers app results I've ever seen. Joe, you want to take a look?
Sure.
Scroll through there.
Were you, I know
is
you're a big
good.
Air Force One guy and you were around during that era. Were you copping at the Bape store back in the day?
I used to buy
Very
stuff
good.
to flip from the Bape store. They
mix.
used to
Yeah.
look
A
out
lot
for
of
me
stuff in
because
there,
of
right?
Flight Club.
Yeah.
Dude, passing his phone.
So another,
no.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks. I'll take it back.
yeah.
Can I get some sanitizer, please?
Yeah.
No
But
judgment.
no, but copying at the Bape store to flip.
No, Rome was more about the Bapesters and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I didn't really mess with them. When I met Domaney and Naoki, the two founders of Vintage
Yep.
Kicks Flight Club, they were flipping Bapes inside Alife. You know, they were getting them from Japan and flipping them in Alife. At
Selling
the
them for
time.
how much?
I think like $450 back then, like $500, depending which ones they were. I mean, there weren't a lot back then. And then like the Bapesters, remember the running shoe? What was
The
that?
The
one?
Roadsters.
The Roadsters,
Pharrell
yeah.
had the 3 pairs with like the
Yeah,
sort
the
of
Roadsters,
shimmery
yeah,
colors
yeah.
I'm
there.
trying to track down a pair of the Roadsters.
Yeah.
You know, those were, they kind of like, you know, oh, they're getting the Air Max. It was mad people talking ish, but they did well for Bape. You know?
I'm just curious what you think about that too, because another thing that's happened in the sneaker world since we last spoke, that whole bootleg sneaker trend, Warren Lotus, Cool Kai. So just as like a sneaker OG who was around at the beginning of this whole boutique sneaker era, what's your take on that? I know you were around for the REs and all
So
that.
I'm pretty like firm on like I don't mess with too many customs.
Yeah.
you know? I'll do it if it's the homie and it's supporting the
Sure,
homie.
sure.
Like Ari Foreman.
Yes.
His was really a slap in the face at sneaker culture, tobacco industry.
A
At
little
the
more
time.
thought out too. Than
Right.
just
But you know,
flipping
it
a
wasn't
colorway.
just
Yeah.
I'm making some funny sneakers.
Right.
I never wore a pair of Greedy Genius. You know, if you remember that. that
course,
brand
No
Yeah.
reference to those
for a
ugly
little while.
clothes.
I did wear a pair of the Warriors because we sold them at
Which one is that? I don't know.
Alife. It was like that Feng Long Chinese manufactured
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
badminton shoe, and these
Okay.
dudes from Iran, these Persian brothers, Turan brothers, they started Warrior brand. They licensed it, and we did an ARC collaboration with them.
Oh, I didn't know.
And they were
about
like
Yeah.
$4 shoes we sold for $30. I sold like 80 pairs in 2 days or something. I don't.
Making
Didn't make a
ranch.
lot of money, but you know.
So you never
bought
messed
pizza
with
for everyone? No,
you
just
never
kidding.
messed with like the off-brand stuff back in the day.
I mean, I wear clear weather footwear. You know, I mean that's an established brand, but it's not like a major top
Yeah.
Nike, Adidas. But they're in there trying to do.
No,
do
but
their
in terms
thing.
of the copycat stuff.
the cool Kai thing, I think
Yeah.
it's cool what he's doing. It's
Mm-hmm.
not cool for me, you know, like, but I'm not that cool, I guess, right? There's another one with like a gun on it,
Yeah.
Rude or something, right? Or something.
No, that's not
Rude,
rude.
it was-
What is the
Then
gun
there's
one?
Rude, right?
Yeah.
And then there's one with like
one
a
with-
6-shooter or
There's
something.
one with a dick on it.
Yeah.
That's terrible, man. Don't say that out loud.
There is.
Would you put that on your feet?
No, I wouldn't.
thankfully,
I'm not a fan of any of those.
I was just
respectfully.
questioning you because you know you quick to spit it out.
I feel like we could have so many
There's
stories
a
of
dick
like.
on the shoe.
It's true.
I feel like
You know,
we
like
feel like we could have so many stories of like celebrity run-ins. But do you have a good David Beckham story? Was that at Alife?
oh, that was at Alife. Yeah, I went there mad early to smoke. You know, before the store opened up, clean up.
Smoked weed with
The
David
night
Beckham.
before was probably crazy. You know, that's what I do. Go there, make sure nobody saw what was happening. You know, we had a bunch of fake cameras in the store that they didn't work.
Really? That's interesting.
We got a fake Glock in the podium. You know,
You
like,
had a fake gun in the store?
yeah. You know, but
Did you ever pull it out?
Mad times, bro.
For what?
Kick bad people out the store too.
Why'd you
Wow.
pull out the fake gun on
There
him?
was one time we were playing some Dipset music and these dudes came in and they were like, "Yo, I hope you ready to bang like Dipset," you know, like, and I was like, "Chill."
What are you talking about?
Reached to the guy, I was like, "Yo, chill, we cool, right?" He was like, "Yo, we cool, bro," and just walked out. I was like, "Thank God they didn't test us."
Wow.
If they pull out a real Glock on you, it could have
Be
got
fucked
dicey.
up. Yo, but David Beckham had showed up early and was banging on the glass, right? Somebody was banging on the glass.
You
So
said,
go-
"I hope you're ready to bang."
I opened the door. I opened the door.
Did
and-
you pull a gun on David
Listen,
Beckham?
no, stop. So I opened the door and it's this woman, you know, glasses, short. Like, hey, how can I help you? We open up at 12. She's like, hey, you know, we just came. I was like, that's cool. We open up at 12. And she was like, yeah, but I'm with somebody. I was like, cool. Tell him that we open up at 12. You want me to tell him? Yo. And he opens the door to the car and it's David Beckham. I was like, yo, we open up at 12.
You recognize
I was
it.
like, yo,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that fucking
The soccer guy,
fucking, And I was like, the N-word. I was like, yo, that's the soccer N-word, right? And he was like, she was like, excuse me? I was like, that's back up that David Beckham. And she was like, yes. I was like, yeah, he could wait a few minutes. Give me a second. And I closed the door on her. I was like, oh.
Dude.
Was the
Looked
store
around,
nice?
make sure the store was clean. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
what's going to happen right now? Like, cool. I turned around, walked back and said, yo, we don't really open till 12, bro, but, you know, you here. So, and she's very persistent. So he comes in. I was like, yo, Tommy walks in. Tommy Campos walks right in to come to work. And he's like looking and he was just like,
He told them we don't open till
and
12.
I go, yo, look. And he goes, yo, Tommy, take a picture. And the lady goes, no. I said, then get out. What do you mean I can't take?
The lady said no?
The lady said no photo. I said, so get out. you could leave too, bro. I'm sorry.
You said he told
And he-
David Beckham you could leave too.
Yep. And he goes,
You
he
just
goes,
wanted a
nah.
flick for the
He goes-
MySpace.
He
Like,
goes,
come
he
on.
goes, you can take a pic. I was like, yo, so why are you being like that? It's not like he's gonna come in tomorrow and be like, yo, Chris, what's good? You know, like we're just taking a pic. She's like, yeah, but no, like you can't do. I was like, yo, it's just a photo. Chill. You know, you want to wait outside and let him shop. You know, like then it was cool. And then I sold him my Adidas Super Ape skates, the Super
Oh,
Ape
wow, the
skate.
Vapes.
I had
Classic.
them in the thing in a
Yes.
9.5, right? It was somebody's shoe that gave it to me to sell, right? And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy it from them because they wanted like $300 for it at the time, right? It was like the green, white, and black
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Remember?
You can
No,
look-
because there was 3 different colorways
Yeah.
or two different colorways.
You can listen to the Gary Aston podcast and
Yes.
how that
The
shit got
Super
made.
Ape skate, right? It was
Okay.
like a 3/4 or mid, right? And he was like, yeah, I'll take these. How much? And I just looked at him and I was like, we selling them for $650, bro. He was like, sure.
Was he on Adidas
Didn't even
at that
blink.
time?
Yeah,
He was on
that's why he
Adidas.
bought it, yeah.
He was on Adidas, right? And I was like, damn, anybody else would have been like $1,650 or whatever, you know, like 2,000. And I was like, yeah. He was like, cool, take card. And I was like, nah, I just charge it. I can't take it. That's stealing. He was like,
Wait, what?
you know, because people would say, yo, you take cards? And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, I just charge
Capital
them.
One only.
I'm like, yo, I just charge them.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't take it because
yeah.
then you're going to get, and they'd be like,
no theft.
and you know, I just try to be like humorous, but
Yeah.
Hilarious.
sometimes
Witty
it'll go
guy.
like right past people and I'll be like, yeah,
It
forget it.
went past me.
It's cool. So,
And the picture exists.
Did the
So
picture
he got it. I got
with
it right
David
here.
Beckham. Yeah.
Yeah.
There
We'll
was a
put it
couple of them. One of them, I'm like mad excited. I don't know if that one's online.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
awesome.
This is awesome. Let me see it, Joe.
How much do you feel like How to Make It in America was based off of your life?
Them dudes were cool. I didn't like one of them. I forgot what the dude's name. What's his name? Adam Greenberg or something like that. Or
Yeah.
one of them was really cool. And then
not-
another dude was mad corny, bro. And like they would come in and they'd be like, "Yo, what do you think we should? And how should we do this?"
So they were asking about the show, like
They were like, you know,
authenticity.
we did hats for the show. You know, we did like 100 hats with like holding a money
Yeah.
fold. We did T-shirts. I think we did a jacket exclusively for them and stuff. But they were very involved at one point. Like it felt like they weren't. They were just like trying to like culture grab, like just like whatever you know.
Because there was
like-
that Flight Club scene, and I know we had spoken about it on the show before, where like they had gone into Flight Club because he's trying to get money and he's trying to sell his Air Force Ones, and the guy at the counter points down. He goes, "Nobody wears these anymore. They're into these," and he has boat shoes on.
Yeah.
Yo, that was like the Sperry
Yes.
and the
Yes.
what was the other brand?
Sebago.
Sebago. We did collaborations with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also at the times. I think that one show that just came out. What was it? Sneakerheads or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? What is that's a
On
complex?
Netflix? Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
a complex show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go
Right?
on. Go
Right?
on.
So
We're
when the
listening,
dude
Chris.
talks about how he met her, right? That's my story from the Tyra Banks show. When they asked me what shoes I
Are
was
you
wearing,
saying we owe you money, Chris?
when they said what shoes were you wearing, and I said, oh, a pair of 1999 Air Jordan 4s. When I met my girl, and it was the same thing in the show. I was like, oh wow, that's
We
so
owe you
crazy.
something for that?
No, I mean, you know,
We'll,
I'm here
we'll
now,
forward
right?
Your, we'll
Yeah,
forward
right?
your request to our legal counsel.
Yeah.
For sure.
no, but do you guys remember? You know, like
Yeah.
I said that on the time.
Yeah.
But the other shows, I mean,
I never
they all
watched
have
that.
their
How
own
to
little
Make It.
thing.
I've never seen it. I've never seen any of it.
I would say How to Make It in America. Yeah, I would say How to Make It in America when
How
it
do
was
you
happening.
work here and not watch the stuff?
Did you
that's
like that show?
produced? How to Make It in America?
Yeah.
I liked the first episode. I thought it was cool, and then I thought it was a little bit corny.
It's funny.
It was all right. It wasn't bad. I did watch it
Yeah.
because you know, I felt like we had something to do with it. If somebody asked me something, came into the store, it's my job to be able to not downplay it,
Yeah.
and not be the guy that like I didn't watch it yet.
Also, the theme song's based off of you too. I Need $1.
He's this guy. Look at it.
Yes. Yes.
So let's
I
clear that up.
love
So
it.
the whole
I
dollar
love
thing,
it.
right? I was called Dollar in the skateboarding days.
Yeah, I wanna hear this. I
1988,
didn't know.
89,
He's about to tell
right?
Complex I need
So-
$1 off of this.
So I, you know, me, Billy, Benny, Jody, Cosmo, Joey,
Who are
Jesse,
these
we
people?
all the dudes I skated with growing
Okay.
up. Jeff Pang,
Okay.
you know, like
Yep,
you know,
Supreme.
Jeff Pang is from the neighborhood, you know, like Jonathan. So we'd go out to skate. None of us would have money. It's not like these kids today. They do fucking debit cards, and we'd go out to
Capital
skate,
One.
hop the train, skate under the turnstile, crank the doors back in certain stations, and go to the city with no money.
Yeah.
You know, and we'd be like, you know, yo, you got $1? And I'd be like, yo, you got $1?
Just to anybody in the street.
People that would come skating, you know, other skateboarders, like, yo, I'm going to go to the store. You need anything? You got $1? You got $1? And I'd get a little roundup of money. And, like, it was like Keenan, may he rest in peace. Like, me, Keith Huffnagel, Ryan Hickey, anybody that you, Alex Corporon, everybody, you know, Freddie Valero, Juicy, Julio, Peanut, Peter Pabone, you know, like, we all met up at the banks. And then after the banks, we'd go skate Water Street. And then coming back up Water Street, we'd hit the Seaport. And then coming up the Seaport, it'd be Fulton Street. And right there, we'd stop at Burger King. And I would have like $18 or $12 or $30. And I'd go to the counter and say, give me whatever we can get.
That's awesome.
Everybody would reach over and steal cups because it was free refills. Or we'd buy one cup and they'd steal all the other cups. We'd just sit there refilling sodas, chicken. We had food fights in there. It was us. I mean, the movie Kids, but it was just us kids growing up, you know?
Did you like the Supreme Dunks that came out?
I think they had a big
Which
opportunity.
This one, yeah.
I think they had a big opportunity to do something different. The Virgil Abloh, the Travis Scotts, all these different designer collaborations and footwear that's being put out that actually like changed the brand's core logo from the beginning, where they wouldn't let anybody. They wouldn't let anybody. When Alife did the Black, White, Gum and Bang Nike Dunk and the Air Force One, it was a really big problem because Rob took all the stars from the bottom of the shoe and debossed them into the letter, into the leather, if you remember. And he did lace locks that said crispy as fuck.
Of course.
And Nike stopped the lace locks the week of our shoe.
For the Dunks.
For the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
Because
yeah. The white gum Air
that
Force,
was the concept, because the stars was always going to be there. Because, you know, your sneakers, once the stars,
are gone, fade,
it's a wrap, right? Start talking. So it's like, yo, they're always going to be crispy on top. You know, but
didn't that shoe have other implications for Alife? Because some people told me, and maybe I have the story wrong, and you would be the person to set the record straight, that
I'm not allowed to disclose any financial information or what wasn't and was not or anything like that. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Right? But after that shoe, Nike didn't get Alife didn't get any more Nikes.
Yeah, I heard
for
that.
a while, or still, you know. I started bringing parts of my collection, and you know, like.
So you couldn't get Nike shoes from Nike, so you had to kind of bring
well, it's
your
called
own stuff
illegitimate.
in.
When you get shoes from other sources, Nike considers it illegitimate, right?
And they get mad.
So then they don't want to give you an account because you think like you're.
Is that why they lost the account?
Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no.
How do you feel about the vintage New Balance trend? Like, you're in downtown a lot, right? Do you see a lot of those?
The gray New Balance, like
No,
Peter Posta. Can't have too many pairs of gray New Balances. Now,
he's talking about the
like
ALDs.
550s.
That's not really a shoe that was part of. That was, what was his name? James
Worthy,
right? That was that era, and that's it. The shoe didn't carry on, keep going. Like the Avia 870 something. It was like the same shoe at the time, you know, like same, you know, spot builts were at that moment that really like not chunky, but like really defined the cup sole in basketball era, right? Like I think Nike had like the driving force or something like that. It was like, I mean, people follow trends a lot now, you know. The trend setters are I guess retired or something. I don't really know.
Do you
Still in
see
the
he
game.
always brings it up?
Still in the game. There you are. There he is.
Do you think he always brings it up? Do you think comparing kind of the era that you were fully involved with it with now is that there was more variety in what people wore on their feet, and now it's like the trends, it's like one sneaker.
Yeah, 100%. People were more unique. I mean, now there's a lot of uniqueness in fashion in like that kid Percentis and like you said, Warren Lotus and all these guys. They do clothes, and when they try to jump into footwear, they ruined it. You know, like they blew it up, and now they're in trouble, and they can't do this or whatever, or they tried to attach themselves to someone and try to use the only thing that he had with a brand, and then he tries to bring. I mean, he brought it over to a couple of brands, but in bringing it over to this, and then it being the same exact looking shoe, it's a big slap in the face to, you know, the person that feeds you, I guess, right? At one time in era, you know,
Got it.
because he changed the way people looked at footwear with a drop, you know, and how drops were handled after that, you know. So I mean, it's hard to say anything other than, you know, like for now the kid who really aspired to be a designer or something like that is, you know, the whole world looked at him like a herb, like you know, like, oh, we can't mess with him no more. It wasn't legit. It wasn't official. But there was a big post that said it was an official collaboration.
Air Force One reselling, a thing that happened last week that is similar to a story you told us on the podcast, was the ICA off-white
Yellow one.
yellow ones dropped in Boston, the Air Force Ones.
Right.
And I know you had gotten the MoMAs through that crazy raffle and all that sort of
Because
stuff.
of extra pairs.
Yep.
And Lou the Don, those dudes
Yeah.
looked out for me,
Yeah.
man.
But
somebody called me up and said, yo, go to the MoMA. And I was like, yo, what's dropping? I thought it was art. You know, I thought it was a print or something. I was
About
like,
to add
word,
another
I'm on my
Banksy
way.
to the collection.
But
I
the
find out.
You
the
just
yellow
went.
ones, the yellow ones dropped. It was a sneakers only stashed drop where you had to supposedly be in the Boston area around
Yeah,
the
they had like
museum.
the blue ones in the
Yeah.
MCA,
But
right?
everyone, like the kids, were able to like spoof their address on their phone and using a VPN.
Yeah, they shade IP, it's called, or something like that.
Yeah.
They shadow IP.
and saying they're like, oh, I live on 123 Boston Street, Boston, you know, and like got the shoes. But it was such a limited drop. How do you feel about seeing that as like that's some?
I never got to see it. You know, it sold out.
Yeah.
I looked
wasn't-
on his sneakers app. It
You know?
wasn't in his purchase.
No,
list.
I didn't even go for it. Some of those shoes I wouldn't even go for. You know that? You know, check this out, man. A friend of mine told me, he said, yo, they should do the sneaker releases at night. Because it's easier to go to sleep with a bunch of L's than wake up and have to deal throughout the whole day with 4 or 5 L's
Yeah.
throughout the day.
10
and I was
a.m.
like,
and you're just stuck
wow,
with it.
you could sleep. That's great. It's like,
Yeah.
you wait all morning and you're like, and then you're waiting for the draw. And then, you know, and then if you get like that notification that your card was charged before the email, you're like, yeah. You know, because I truly believe that if you do Apple Pay, sometimes it works a bit faster or whatever.
You're
They say-
advocating for Apple Pay on
No, they
sneakers
just,
app.
I just say that, you know, like PayPal was good
What
for a
about
little
Capital
while.
One?
and-
They held you down for so
Yeah,
long.
Capital One. You still.
I didn't say I didn't use Capital One. I
Okay.
don't. I don't have a
Are you
Capital
still
One
banned
card
from
anymore.
Supreme?
Yeah.
What?
My friends that work there
We
barely
talked about
won't
it
even
on the-
talk to me.
But you even on the
Just because they think I sold samples when I didn't. I just received them at Flight Club
Well, they're
and
digging
took
up all the
pictures of
beats.
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
15
With
years
the,
ago.
in the fourth quarter, he's just digging up all the. Wait, is he still banned from 2019 since we last talked to him? You're asking?
No, I meant I was getting more at like if you can actually buy from Supreme's website or if the name Chris Vidal is like persona non
workaround?
grata.
Blow myself up if I tell you what name I buy under, right?
Oh,
Like,
you
you know,
got
but Supreme
the-
is dead. Nobody. That's not. You go to the
Alias.
website and there's still they had a sale yesterday.
Yeah, but they always had
they posted a
sales.
sale, but not like with all that. You
There
know,
wasn't
I mean,
a lot of stuff.
Okay, keep advocating.
I'm not advocating. I'm just saying what I saw.
I mean, I just don't see it as the. I think people are really into like Amy Leon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the new
Jaime
balance.
Amy
Leon
Leon
Dor.
Dor. You know,
Shout out to Smoke.
there's a lot of
Sizzle.
hate out there for Ronnie Feig, which I don't understand, and Kith, but he's been in the game for as long as most other people. You know, he ran up and down stairs to get shoes.
Did you see Ronnie back when you were in Alife? Was he already ascendant at David Z at that point?
Ronnie worked at David Z till probably like 2012 or something.
Yeah,
right?
but was he a known quantity for you? You kind of being in this
I knew
retail
Ronnie
mafia.
just because from being downtown. I knew
Yeah.
him. Kin worked for him. A whole bunch of the homies worked at David Z. Ricky, you know. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pick them up after work or to go hang out, to go smoke, to go skate, to go do whatever. You know, like it's like, oh yeah, that's my manager. Oh yeah, what's up? You know, and like I got invited to be in a couple of the shoots back in the days. You know,
Okay.
like he did like a gray cookie Timberland polo boot.
Yeah.
I was
He
in
had done
that.
the first Red Wings.
I
That
was
was
in
in
both.
Central Park,
Were
right?
you in the shoot?
Yes.
You were both in the
I was
shoot?
supposed to go, but
I
I
was in
remember
the-
that.
You were supposed to
That
go,
was
but
Central
what?
Park. I didn't find them in the park.
He was out here like Pokemon Go looking for him.
Nobody picked up the phone after. I remember. Oh my God! All mad at him too for that. He was like, "Oh, you can't be mad. We were there."
I would just love to see the moment you gave up that day. Just like, all right, I'm not
I
going
think
to
I
find
bumped
him.
into somebody to smoke. I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck it." let's
That's
go."
why. That's the real reason you
I
got
forgot,
lost.
You know. But you know, shout out to legalization. In New York now, it's different, right?
Yeah.
Now kids won't get arrested.
Thank God.
Do you miss like being in like that downtown?
Getting arrested? No, not at all. I don't miss
No.
it.
Do you miss like being in the downtown area every single day? How
Do I
often?
miss going to work every day?
not
Do I
going
miss,
to work, but
I
like the
mean,
camaraderie and like
I hang out at
Alife-
Astor. I hang out downtown pretty
Okay.
much every night at Astor Club.
Okay.
That's a private members only lounge that we go to.
You and BK in there, right?
Ask me no questions. I'll tell you no lies.
I follow you on Instagram, man.
Excelsior Cannabis Club, like Buddy's Bodega, like sneaker culture kind of played a back thing for now for this whole new movement in New York, you know, but it's another episode, right?
Is it weird to watch? Again, Welty brought up the yellow Air Force Ones and the idea that there are people out there with armies of bots to buy sneakers and faking their location and things like that. Are you surprised by all
the
that?
money's there. That's the only thing that motivates people is money. Nobody cares about the shoe. Nobody
think
cares
so?
about the shoe.
What do you think the
Except
percentage
for a
is?
couple
Like-
of dudes, a couple of resellers wear them.
Mm-hmm.
They stunt hard in them. They have their raffles at night and they do their thing, and they're wearing them. They're wearing the Amiri or whatever jeans and
You like Amiri jeans?
I don't even know. I just know kids wear them and they cost a lot of money. Kloppy was wearing them at Alife back in 2013 when Yams may rest in peace. They were all hanging out there. So it was very ASAP Josh, all those kids. 12E, Fergo.
Rocky?
Rocky, of course. Yeah, he shows me mad love anytime I see him or somebody's like, "Yo, comes give me a pound," and I just get shocked. Yeah, this is a real dude, bro.
You see his Vans sneakers?
The Under Armours?
No,
Nice.
dude. He's got some Vans sneakers coming out with the flames on them.
No, I didn't see him. But Vans has done shoes with flames on them before. Long time with Jason Jesse, I think.
Yeah.
Right? And then the motorcycle ones that he did.
Will you come back? Will you be a reoccurring guest?
Depends, yeah.
Depends on what.
Just give me enough notice. This was last night
I
at
know,
10 o'clock
I know,
at night.
I know.
He's like, yo, I don't know. And
Apologies.
I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
I know.
I'm down, I mean, I know what happened. Somebody canceled, right? So
No.
No.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, well,
But
now I feel better.
Chris, come
No.
on.
Now I feel better.
No.
Top of the list.
You know that we hold you in high regard, and we always.
I mean, you get to cut the line at the Complex Sneakers podcast. Like you cut
I
the line for a
respect you
pair
guys
of
because you
Spizikes.
all answer my DMs and texts.
Come
that.
on.
And it's never been too busy or too cool.
Never.
To
Well,
not answer.
sometimes I guess at 3 a.m. if you're in his Twitter mentions, he may not answer.
I'm like, do I want to even engage with this, or is it going to
I think
cause
he has
like a
a
spill?
Finsta, a fake Insta account or a Fwitter. They call them Fwitters and Finstas. I think,
What
I think
what is he
he's right.
doing on there?
He's the one coming at me, man.
Oh, he,
Uh-oh.
Instead of actual Matt Welty
Calling me
fans
old and
responding,
washed
it's
up
other
and stuff. That's
it's
they're
other
not
Matt
good
Welty
jokes.
shell
So if they were
accounts.
good, I'd engage more. It's
Well-
just, I need good. You need a good clap back every now and then. A good
someone to
comeback.
spar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we can't thank you enough for joining.
Thank
And-
you guys. Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Yes. I'm sure we'll be in touch. And yeah, we gotta keep inviting you because you have so many great stories.
Just like to talk a lot, I guess, and you guys like to listen, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And just shout out to everybody still buying shoes to wear, flipping them, getting that paper, right?
Yeah.
That's about it. I buy things. I buy still a lot more art. I'm really into clown skateboards right now.
Okay.
What is that?
They just reemerged. It's a British skate company that came out in 2000, and Banksy had done a logo for them. So they reemerged after 21 somewhat years, 20 years, and
How
they
many
redid-
Banksy pieces are you still holding on to?
Wow. That's a lot.
But
For those listening, he mouthed the number to me. While
yeah, you just got to be careful because people are crazy now.
Yeah.
Sure.
They want to take pictures with your art and tell people it's theirs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You ever had somebody ask you to try on your shoes so they could take a flick with them?
No.
I had somebody do
No,
that
I've had
before.
people come by my desk though and take a photo of my shoes.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was the thing.
Well,
But
thanks
yeah,
so much
shout
for
out,
joining.
man. Thanks a lot for having me, Complex. Brandon,
Thank you.
Joe La Puma that I've known forever,
Yes.
and Matt.
That was an
Shout out to
intern.
PG. I don't think we talked about him enough.
Uh,
Shout out to that huge Scars sale.
Yeah.
we
Holy
talked about
cow.
PG
We talked about that.
before you got
How did
here.
that beat
they're all
this?
gonna-
How did that
Yeah.
beat this in the Uenos though? That's what I want to know. And there was the Ueno special box, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I shout out to Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Positivity in full effect. I'm not going to say anything else. I'll go out like
they're
that.
go-
On
they're
that
going to
note-
talk about it at dinner tonight, so that'll be good.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're going to dinner with PG tonight.
They are. I'm not.
Kebabs?
They
Yes.
are.
Oh,
Hey,
I've,
me and
never,
you
I've
go to
never been
dinner.
invited for kebabs.
Yeah, me. I
If
wasn't
you guys
invited
both
either.
want to come, I feel
Nah,
like
we're
we
good.
could-
We're gonna have
I feel
our
like
own.
they probably have
It's all right.
space at the restaurant.
You guys get kebabs. We'll get pinchos.
Yep. This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for joining. We will see you guys next week.